Hello, everybody. This is Jonathan, one of the Jonathans with the Balloon Guild, and I am here with Ginny Nikas, which is, I learned how to pronounce her last name just a second ago. Um, if you know her, you've probably been pronouncing her name wrong, unless you've already had that conversation. Um, Ginny, you are our guest designer for the month of March 2025. We're excited to have you. Um, I'm gonna get personal. You can tell me when to stop. Like deepest, darkest secret might be a little too far, but it's up to you,
It's
right?
never too
So,
far.
um, where are you from? Where do you live, work, operate?
Northern Indiana, South Bend, Indiana.
South Bend. What is it like in South Bend? Like, are you big city? Is it a small city? You in the country?
It's medium. We're the third largest city in Indiana, so
Okay.
just behind Indianapolis and Fort Wayne. I think there's like 125,000 people here.
See, I don't know those numbers. When people say that stuff, like, "Oh, there's 600,000 people in my whatever," I'm like, okay. Um, okay, cool. So that's good. How long have you been doing balloons for?
Started in 2011 with just the yard cards, then moved into balloons a few years later. So I don't remember the exact date balloons came into the fold, but I'm gonna say it's been over 10 years.
Okay. So yard cards, what got you into that?
It was before they were really popular. I didn't even know it was a thing. I just started doing them for my kids and family, and then, it's like anything else. Then the neighbor saw it and their family saw it, and it got bigger and bigger. And of course, I don't even do that stuff anymore, really. But that's how it started.
Sure. What were you doing leading up to yard cards? Like I assume you had a different job and were doing yard cards as a side hustle until
Yeah, yeah. Oh, for sure, for sure. I've had lots of past lives. At that time, I was just coming out of working in pediatrics. I went into graphic design and had a second degree in engineering, so I was doing dabbling in some CAD and that kind of thing too.
so I have a daughter who's an engineer
Uh-huh.
and she works for Moss Construction with their solar
For sure. Yeah.
stuff. That's about all that I know. Like the other day we were talking with somebody and she's like, go ahead, tell them what I do, Jonathan. You tell them what my job is. And I was like,
I don't know.
like I hear stories she tells us, but I'm like, I can't explain what a day in your life is like at work. Um, because she doesn't, I don't know. I think for her it's different. And now she's like managing newer engineers or something. But again, uh, wow. So did you get it? You got 2 degrees, you said? That was a double degree.
Well, I started in medical technology, ended up working in pediatrics, and then I went into CAD drafting and engineering and worked in that for a while, and then moved over to graphic design.
So you a smart lady then.
Yeah, and I was a teacher for a while, so
Teacher
yeah.
of, I mean, obviously children, I assume, but what
Yeah,
age?
all ages. It was mostly special needs, special education, physical disabilities, that kind of thing.
And that was before you were a med tech?
That was after. Yeah.
Okay, so um you what you went to school, college, I assume you're talking about
A
degrees.
couple times. Yeah.
Yeah, so which one came first then?
The chicken or
The
the egg.
well, the medical stuff
Medical
then?
was first. Yeah.
And then why did you leave medical?
I went into it because I wanted to help. I wanted to do the hand holding and the caring and it turned out that it's all red tape, it's all bureaucracy, it's
Hmm.
all insurance. It was a business that I didn't want to be a part of.
Okay, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
Um, and then so then functionally when you were with pediatrics, were you like what was your job there? Were you like
So I was a medical assistant. So it's kind of, I guess it falls in line just behind a nurse, but it's more than like an aide. I'm not
were you the
sure
one
where
who
it
takes
falls
the
now.
blood pressure and gets all the information for the
Gives
doctor to
gives
come
the
in?
shots, all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just make kids cry, huh? Little ones.
Yeah, I made kids
Okay.
cry.
Then hand them a lollipop and a
Yeah.
SpongeBob sticker
Yeah,
in their
don't give
golden.
me an emergency.
Okay.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm no porter.
right. So I don't think any of us are Jenny Porter. Um, so from pediatrics, what you jumped from that into teaching? Was that the next thing?
Yeah, teaching and coaching. I did some coaching. I did swimming and diving and that kind of stuff. Then of
Did you
course worked with the
swim
kids.
in
I
school?
did in high school. I was a diver.
Diving. So like flips and spins and
Yeah,
gainers and all that stuff?
all the things.
Wow. Did you ever do synchronized diving? Did you ever try that ever?
No, no.
I really, to me, like diving in general is impressive, but diving in such a way that you can flip and spin and twist the same as another person is kind of bonkers to me.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. Okay. What was your favorite kind of dive?
Oh, anything up high. I'm a daredevil, so I like to do heights and crazy stuff.
Did you ever bridge jump?
I did. I've bridge jumped, I've skydive. I want to go bungee jumping. That's my next thing. I've scaled a bridge, I've jumped off of a bridge, scuba diving, skydiving, jet skiing, anything adrenaline. That's where I want to be.
All right, that's kind of exciting. Okay, so I could talk to you about all this stuff all day, but are you married? Do you have children?
I have an amazing husband. I have two adult children and one younger child. I kind of have two separate lives. My oldest is in the Navy, and my middle one is in IT, and my baby just graduated and she's working for a vet.
Working for a vet? Okay, so then when you are with your kids, and I'm coming back to this because I know how my kids are, and there's still some times where I feel like they think I can do everything. They know it's not true, but then they're like, Dad, how did you say you never did this, but you're already good at it? Like like I still get those every now and then. I'm like, yeah, I can do stuff. Um, like when it comes to the diving, did you always take your kids to the pool? Like, have they just grown up knowing mom can do all these flips
Oh,
and tricks?
oh
And
yeah,
you can,
and they can too. Yeah, they
I was
grew up
gonna
in the
say, and you
water.
can, wow. Do you have to train some of this on like trampolines and stuff, or you just do it straight off a
Oh
diving?
no, no, for sure. Trampolines. Yeah,
So
mats.
when I was younger, I had this one and it's nothing. So I'm not saying I'm anything, but it's like a backflip with a half of a little twist kind of a deal. And I thought, I want to add an extra thing off the high dive. First time I ever burst my eardrum. I did not land in the water very well. And then it hurt and everything was spinning and I couldn't tell which way it was up. It was a bad idea. That's
Yeah.
why I was asking about
I've
trampoline
burst
stuff.
my eardrum as well, so I feel your pain, literally.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
been
that's not
burst a
fun.
few times actually, but that was the first one. Okay, cool. So your kids can do the flips and all that stuff, make all their
Yeah,
friends jealous.
anything water, like the lake, the beach, swimming. Yeah, our whole families are water bugs.
So are you guys great? And my geography's terrible, but is the Great Lakes a part of your world?
Yes, we're
Yes.
about 30, 40 minutes from the beach.
Okay, so when you say beach, that's what you're talking about,
Yeah,
the Great
yeah,
Lakes. Okay,
yeah.
cool. In Florida, the beach is like ocean, but it probably looks exactly the
It
same as the
it
Great
does.
Lakes, I bet.
It's an inland sea. It's
Yeah,
huge.
cool. Okay. Wow. So then when did the engineering degree come into play?
That was just about the same time I was getting into the yard cards because I didn't like what I was doing at the time. And I was like, ah, we'll just go get another degree. We'll see where that takes us. And I didn't really like it, but I had to finish it. So I did. And
Got
then
an
that's when I
engineering
jumped
degree,
into,
started balloons.
yeah, yeah, I didn't like that.
Do you find, and I bet I know the answer to this, but do you find that degree is helpful with
Um,
balloons?
I don't know, maybe a little if I'm trying to figure out framing or something like
More like
that.
the mechanical side of it, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I find math is more helpful than I expected when it comes to balloons. I made a manatee one time and I'm like, oh, that's probably like 500 5-inch balloons. And then I'm like, you probably should do some surface area math and figure out like how much you're at. And I was like, oh, this is closer to 900. And I
Yeah.
didn't have the extra, I had to order them, but I was very glad to have done the math to just make sure. Otherwise, I'd have been in big trouble.
Yeah, and it's funny because my youngest is a math whiz. And so even when I'm trying to figure out something, I call her. And she's like, Mom, you're the one with the degree. I'm like, yeah, but you just did algebra a year ago. It's been a minute.
Right. Wow, that's really, I had no idea about any of that stuff for you. I need to talk to you more when we hang out instead of just talking about balloons. Okay. So, what is life like growing up in Indiana? What was it like for you?
Well, it's pretty boring. It's pretty flat and it's cornfields. It's what you would
Cornfields,
expect.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Okay, so you started yard cards, and was that something that eventually took over where you're like, I really need to, like, I'm either gonna have to do this or I'm gonna have to start telling people no? Like, did that all by itself get you busy enough to do it full time?
It probably did, but I was too scared to drop the day job at that time. And then when balloons came in and my entire house and world was taken over, I just had to make the decision. Do I stay in corporate or do I go to balloons? Because I couldn't do both.
Yeah.
And I picked the one that was more fun, obviously.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Um, okay, so I know I'm bouncing around a little bit.
that's
ADHD
okay.
kind of went in the day. When you were little, you grew up wanting to be a doctor or in the medical field. Was that your first, like,
You
I
know,
mean,
it's
once you
funny
stopped
because
wanting to be a butterfly, like after that period,
when I was little, I wanted to either be a nurse, a gymnast, or an artist. And I've done all three.
all of it, right?
Isn't that funny?
So, yeah, when I was a kid, I wanted to be a wrestler, and at that time it meant WWE wrestling or an artist. And I coach wrestling at my kid's high school, and I get to do artwork. So
That's
it is
awesome.
funny. You find a way to come back to your passion, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about your business a little bit. You started with yard cards and then you started adding balloons. Was it because people wanted balloons on it, or you were already talking to them about a party and they just asked you, can you make me a bouquet or something?
It started a friend of mine what just did the balloon twisting and she needed help. So that's kind of how I first got my hands on balloons. But then one of our universities reached out to me and wanted me to do balloons. And I said, absolutely not. I know nothing. And they begged and they begged. And I said, I'll tell you what, I'm not going to charge you. I'm going to come hang out and I'm going to help you just because I'm kind of artsy and it sounds like fun. So I went and I did it and I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. So I looked around and at that time there was still a distributor down in southern Indiana and they were having what they were calling some kind of showcase. And I thought, well, I'll go at least learn something. And it was Dante and Eddie. So
Oh,
yeah, like you can't go
that's a
wrong.
good time. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I was like, oh, this is it. This is a thing. So I just kind of grabbed onto them and they showed me the way and there was no looking back.
Wow, that's cool. What were
Yeah.
they teaching then? And how many years ago was that? You said around
That would
2011,
have been,
2012.
yeah, yeah, probably I think probably 2012-ish or somewhere in there. It was basic stuff, a lot of linking for that class, but all classic.
Yeah, right
Yeah,
on.
at that time organics wasn't even a thing.
Right. Okay. So then you worked out of your home for a bit. Do you
I worked
still,
I worked out of my living room, my kitchen, my dining room, my bathroom, my basement. Every inch of my house was full until my husband was like, I would like to have my couch back, my living room back, my bedroom back. So now I have a
that's when it
4,000
happens, right?
square foot warehouse.
That's when, so when people are like asking, when do you think I should like try to get a space? It's usually when somebody tells you you can't have this room, but you need that room. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you already have all of this, but you don't get the kitchen, like
Yep.
okay. Um, And then do you have work vehicles? I'm gonna ask you some just generic business questions. So people who, there's so many different people at different areas and walks, and I like to just people to know like all the different things that people operate on. You moved out of your house. Do you have work vehicles? Like what kind of vehicles do you use for work?
I have a medium roof transit, and then just a regular truck that I use, pickup truck.
Okay. Like, do you pull a trailer with it or
No,
like what do you?
no, everything fits in my van pretty well. And when it doesn't, I just grab a U-Haul.
Okay, got you. Um, and then employees. Do you have people?
I have what I call a team because they're not necessarily in-house. So I have an accountant that she works out of her house. I have an IT person, she works out of her house. And then I have my on-call girls that come in when I have bigger jobs to inflate or help me with installs. Then my husband does a lot of the rigging. So there's the people that I call on from time to time to help, but
Sure,
most of the time it's just me.
sure. So I think the thing that is the hardest for, I would probably say everybody, um, when it comes to employees, is when you really need help, but not enough where you can offer them like a full-on job.
Yeah, that's exactly where I am.
So the girls, you said they were girls, I think. So I'm going to use
Yeah.
that term. The girls that you said were your on-call help.
Uh-huh.
What do they do that provides them the ability to be available to say yes to you?
They're really amazing. The one, she's a stay-home mom.
Okay.
But she doesn't have sitter help, so can only come in at night. So I'll bring her in at night to inflate. And then my other girl owns a cleaning business, and so she can work her schedule around mine or vice versa. And we're real flexible with each other and her hours. So she'll come in and do my installation help during the day.
Okay. Cool. So, and I'm just thinking out loud installation. I'm taking notes. I'm not ignoring you. I have to write stuff down. It helps me focus better. Um, So if you were to potentially, let's say you were looking for, let's say you don't have them, but you know they work for you really well, and you were considering like, I would love to get somebody like that or another person. Do you think like reaching out at like mommy and me Facebook groups or whatever would be a place where maybe that kind of help would be
Heard people
findable?
do that. I haven't tried it myself.
And I haven't
Um,
either. I'm just thinking out loud.
Yeah, yeah. I've got one kind of iron in the fire. I worked with our local Party City and their closing and helped them with that. And I pinched one of their girls, so she's going to come help.
You just reminded me that I think my wife talked to somebody that we want to follow up with for that exact reason. Um, I'm gonna mention that to her when we're done with this. She got her information. She's like, I know you guys are going out of, it was a great personality. She seemed to like balloons. So
Yeah, that was just it. I went in and I was working with the manager to do some kind of backdoor deals with them during their closing. I didn't even speak with her. I just was kind of watching. Great with customers, great with doing the product, was on task, was very friendly. And I was like, ah. So I pulled her aside and asked her, and she said, yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do when this closes. I said, I do.
yeah,
So
right on.
yeah.
Okay. So you had mentioned that a university begged you to do a job for them, which is, I mean, a client that's begging to pay you to do work for them is, that's my kind of client. Um, who, like, what all kind of business do you get? You had mentioned yard cards, so I know you started in the private group. Do
Mhm.
you, do you still do a lot of private jobs? Do you do more corporate stuff?
I don't. If they reach out, I'll certainly help, but I find it's just as much work to do a $200 party as it is to do a $3,000 party. And so I'm going to obviously go to the bigger jobs.
Yeah, and that's a extremely good point. And usually the clients are easier to work with.
Yeah, yeah,
And
because
I
they
heard,
say, this is what I want, here's my budget, and they let you be.
yeah,
Yeah.
I listened to a guy and he said the exact same the exact same thing. He's like, you can choose your clients, and what he has found is the person who barely has $200 to spend, they want to know how far that 200 bucks is going to get them.
And
The one who
exactly what
is,
it is.
yes, and they're going to micromanage your time and all the things to try to
Yes,
make sure they're getting the most bang for their buck. The person who has $2,000 also knows they get what they pay for and that they're paying a good amount and they're willing to trust you to do a good job.
agreed.
And they just give you the direction that they need and then let you do your job. So it's like it's easier to make more money with different clients.
Oh, for sure, for sure. And I
So then
even learned that if I give them a bunch of options, they're almost overwhelmed by it. They're like, I don't care, Jen, I trust you, just do it.
yeah. Um, yeah, those are, again, I love those clients. So even this, I was talking to you before this started. I got a last minute job that was yesterday. And it was so last minute. Like we had a plan. They agreed to it in writing, and then we went to do it. And while I was there, she's like, this thing that was set up is supposed to be like a focal point and it's boring.
Oh
Like, can you
no.
take not our stuff? Can
Oh,
you take what we wanted you to do and somehow make that pretty? So I didn't even end up doing exactly what the plan was. But I told her, I said, I'm happy to use this stuff to do it because I actually think that'll look cooler than what I was going to build with it. But just know I'm not going to be able to give you, I had 5 like foil mountains to build. And I had already built 2 of them. I was like, this is going to take up the other 3. She's like, no, that's totally fine, which meant it was easier. Like I one. So again, trust what I do. And she's like, this is my favorite thing in the room now. And it wasn't something anybody even had planned until I was on site, being able to be flexible. So I do have a question for you about working with people. A lot of times employees or people that I work with, sometimes the question is like, well, why wouldn't they just do it themselves? And a lot of people aren't business owners. A lot of people should be employees. Like most people should be employees because running a business isn't for everybody. But when you're working with a business owner, like the cleaning lady, she does own her own business. Um, do you have a kind of non-compete or something like that with her that you've
I
had her sign?
I don't, nothing physically in writing. I mean, she knows my expectation and if she follows it, which I trust her. But if it
Right.
ever came about that I didn't and I kind of got that yucky feeling, well, then they're not working for me anyway.
Yeah. And I believe this is a state by state law situation. In Florida, a non-compete contract isn't a legal binding document.
Yeah, I don't think it
Um,
really is most places.
yeah, what we have is a non-solicitation contract, and I make everybody sign it. New employees, like you're gonna learn a lot when you come to work for me, and you're welcome to do it on your own, all that you want, but you cannot talk to my customers and you cannot use my employees or my stuff for your own business. So that's kind of what it is. I was just thinking of questions people might have if they're interested in pursuing like help like that. Um, okay, so you said that most of your clients are corporate clients. You have a picture. Is that a university where the picture is,
Yeah,
or
this
what is
is
that?
actually Notre Dame's reflecting pool right there.
Oh,
They're my main client. They're
right on.
probably 60% of my business.
Cool. So I'm gonna take a note real quick. Crystal asked she wants that form. I will put it in, I'll put it in the guild, my non-solicitation contract. That'll be easy to get up. So that'll be something I put up probably today or tomorrow. Um, so universities, I work with some, they have tons of departments. It's always frustrating when you show up and you see other people's balloons. Um, and you realize, oh, that wasn't a department that I work with. I like to make jokes like, oh, I see you guys are cheating on me now, huh? They're like, that's not our department. We don't know who that is. Um,
Yeah.
so then who do you talk to? Let's say you know everything you know now, but you have not ever been approached by or ever approached a university. How would you go about the task of trying to get business from them?
The first place I would go would be procurement or purchasing. because when a department that doesn't have a balloon vendor needs one, that's where they go. They'll say, who have we
Oh,
used before? Or who can you recommend? And then they can pull up their file and say, oh, this department uses this vendor. This department uses this vendor. They keep all that in a central hub. But aside from that, you just really do need to reach out to each department.
okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Um, I find, do you get a lot of work from the not I don't know, not student life. We get a lot of work from like when they have day on campuses where they're the recruiting
Yep.
administration stuff, those people.
Ton
I don't
of recruiting. Yeah. I do a lot of that. Athletics is big. I do all of the football team. And then what do you call them after they graduate? Why can't I think of the name? Alumni, the Alumni
yes.
Association, freshman, junior day on campus is big, course graduation, orientation, camps. There's always something going on.
Okay. This is a maybe a weird question, and I know I'm putting you on the spot. Do you feel like you have enough information that this would be a class that you could teach?
I don't know why not. I could try, sure.
Okay. I'll talk to you about that on a separate. I think
Sure.
that'd be a class people would be interested in. So I'll talk to you about that after
Yeah, it'll
this
help.
is all done. Cool. Um, okay. I had no idea about the procurement. I was wondering like, and this was my thing was trying to get one department. Can you just let all the other departments know who we are? But I don't know that they have that ability either.
I don't know how your universities are. In my town, people move so much, then they take me with them. And so they're spreading me more than I'm spreading myself. So that works out actually really well.
Yeah. So your football team, because we just this past year started working with UCF football, and every one of their home games, we did all kinds of. I mean, they
Yep.
were decent. They were decent, couple
Yeah,
$1,000 every job, kind of jobs.
for sure.
Um, what we've learned because UCF, I guess, wasn't the greatest football team this year, and I don't know a lot about football, especially college, so I don't know what their
Oh,
record was. But
that could be a class.
I know that it I know that it was not good enough to keep their head coach. So their head coach was replaced. And what we discovered is the person that hired us to do all of the jobs for them is attached to the head coach.
Yes.
Like I thought you replaced the head coach. All right, find someone else and hopefully they work with your. No, he has his own team that he brings in to do all of
Yes.
it. So then you almost have to start over and be like, oh, hey, before you know anything else, just know I'm the one who's here. So I look forward to hearing
I look
from
at
you.
it that as a win-win because then you could reach out to that person and say, this is what we always do. And so they
Yeah,
know you're the authority. And then you're also going with the person that just left to whatever they're doing. So now you've got two jobs.
yeah. And it makes their life easy because that's one less new thing they have to worry about, right?
Yep.
Okay, cool. I didn't know if that was normal or if that just happened to be the way it is at
That's
UCF, but
normal. That's normal. They usually bring in a whole new coaching staff. They do the whole thing. Yeah.
yeah, which includes the admin people. That's the
Yes.
thing it's not just football. It's
It
like,
doesn't have to be, but typically that's how it goes.
okay. Wow. So then, do they do like what kind of decor do they usually get from you? Is there any specific like,
It's always the same thing because most of the stuff that I do is for their visiting team tailgates. And so they want an entrance. They want, the photo wall. They want everything as to be an experience. They don't want centerpieces and columns.
yeah.
So yeah, it's all that kind of stuff.
So it's almost like, hey, here's the date. We want the same thing as last year. That's
Yep.
so easy.
Yeah, so easy.
Do you ever push ideas to them?
I try. Sometimes they're not as flexible as I'd like them to be because they're set in their ways. But yeah, it's just nice when you can go, hey, remember what we did for the North Carolina game? Do that for the next game. Okay, it's
Yeah.
done. Yeah.
So we did I did something with Tommy and Scott. I don't even know what it was. And then when I came back, we also do Florida Southern College in my
Mm-hmm.
town.
Mm-hmm.
And I really loved 160 spiral curls on the a 3 foot topper. And I wanted it as an upgrade for them. So I'm like, hey, there's this style of balloons in Chicago, which is just terms I made up, that I want to show you guys. And I'm going to do it for you for free. But if you like it, this is what it would cost after that. And they want that every time.
There
So
you
it's
go.
like upselling, and they're just, but I think to your point, they don't want to have to think about stuff and figure out new stuff. But if they see it and they can say, yeah, we want that same thing next time.
Yeah.
Next time that price is different than this time because I gave it to you for free this time. But
Yeah, they're very much, I don't want to think about it. I just want to hand it to
yeah,
you and let you get it done. So when you go, well, what, let's try this, let's try that. They're like, I have other things on my mind. Let's not talk. You
yeah,
just do it.
yeah,
So,
right on. Cool. Okay, so and are they your like what are your favorite clients? I know you said they're are they basically it because they're just so easy to work with?
oh yeah, yeah. Well, and there's just like you said, there's different departments. When some call, you get excited, and when other calls, you kind of cringe.
Yeah. Have you ever fired a customer? Yeah.
It,
What did
it,
it take to?
it was a slow quit. I was always busy, or I couldn't do what they wanted, or I couldn't, and of course I could have, but I didn't make it a priority. I didn't want to, and they
Yeah.
just finally fizzled out, which was good.
So one thing I bring that up because one thing that we've been experiencing at party people events, and I I I would say I hope, but that's not the right word because I don't want it for everybody. I just hope we're not weird. There have been, especially since COVID, so many insane amount of last minute changes, last minute bookings, like more than before. Like before, it was like this thing happens every now and then. You're like, oh, that's annoying, but we can do it. It happens so infrequently before that I never even really charged for those last minute changes. Now it is like, I bet I'm gonna make like 10 grand this year on last minute change fees, last minute booking fees. Like I bet at the end of this year when we add it all up, I've probably already made a few grand just on those. And
Yeah.
that's just you want me to say yes to this, it's gonna cost you this much money just to even have this conversation. Like, have you experienced that lately?
I experience it all the time. And I think that more people should take note of that too, because they don't charge when they should. That's extra stress on you, extra time on you, and it needs to be done. I have clients that'll call me and say, I want on like a Wednesday, what can you put up for me on Saturday? It's crazy where it used to be 3 weeks lead time.
Yeah. Okay. Well, and like I said, I don't want this for everybody, but I'm glad to know
You're not alone.
not just Orlando customers that suck.
Yeah. And it, like you said, it's getting worse. It didn't used to be like this, which is weird. Even when I say make
Yeah.
sure you book at least 2 weeks out, they're still just a few days going, well, I know you can do it because I always
Yeah.
do. I've almost
Yeah.
trained them. So I
Hmm.
said, sure, rush fee.
Yeah. And that's what I like to think is we need to train our customers. But I also have the mentality that like if I don't want to do it, there's a certain amount of money that will make me change my mind. Right? And it's not always that's not always true. Like I'm not going to cancel certain family plans that are really important for work ever.
Yeah.
Like success to me is not defined by how much money did we make this year. That is one factor, but it's not even the biggest one. It is how much time do I get to spend with my family? Am I satisfied with the quality of my life? Like all of these things combined is what I would call success. Um, so I guess that's a question for you. Do you feel that same way, or do you have like what would make a successful life, successful year for you? What would that look like?
Mine is travel time and family time. And if I'm not doing either of those, then I'm not successful. That's why I have this business so that I can put it away for a minute and enjoy my family. So if somebody calls during family time, nope, doesn't matter how much money.
Yeah. Do you get a lot of your jobs through phone calls or emails or
I do everything through the website, through emails. I hate phone calls.
okay.
And don't text me because it'll get ignored.
What do you use a CRM that catches all that
Yeah,
from your
I
website?
love I love my CRM. I use 17 hats. It's
Okay.
amazing.
So I have a call today with them. I'm hopefully it's a call that will get me to start using them because I already pay for it. Um, and I'm trying to
Yeah.
switch from another thing, but I don't know how to do anything. So this is the
Well,
call
yeah.
that's
It's,
going to be like
and
learn how to
Nicole
use
will
it.
set that all up for you too.
That's who I'm using
Yeah,
is
she's
Nicole.
amazing.
So yeah, I'm excited. And everybody I've heard who uses it, they're like, it's not perfect, but none of them are. And this one does all the things I need it to do.
And
The
more.
things it doesn't aren't that big of a deal.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's exciting. Okay, so at this point, this time goes by so fast. Um, I have a series of questions. Joette, if you listen to this in the future, you're going to be very proud of me for, I'm going to change the last question.
Uh-oh.
Um, because here, and I'll just tell you, it was Harry Potter related.
I love Harry Potter.
See, you would have been, I will put that question back in for you
Okay, put it
specifically,
in.
but it's one where I ask everybody, and balloon people are, I don't know, like I thought balloon people were my favorite people, but the amount of balloon people who have no
They
idea how
haven't
to,
read it?
they don't know what the question is even asking. When I get to it, you'll understand because I don't
Quiz
say
me.
anything that it's Harry Potter.
Okay,
Um, I'll just give you that question right out of the gate.
do it. I'm ready.
If the sorting hat was put on your head, what house would it say?
Hufflepuff,
Hufflepuff?
no doubt. That
Okay.
was so easy.
Uh, if you don't know anything about Harry Potter, then you like people are like, "What? I don't even know what you just asked me." And then I'm like, "I thought we were friends." Okay.
Have a Harry Potter class.
Yeah. All right. So, favorite, I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions. Some
Okay.
of them are quick and easy. Some of them, there's no rush on this.
All right, I'm ready.
Some of them might inspire good conversation. And then at the end, I do want to leave a little bit of time for anybody who has questions. And then if not, that's fine. I'll let you get on with your day. I do want to show, and don't let me forget, I do want to like do a quick show of the recipes that are going to be coming the way of the Balloon Guild from you this month. Um, okay. Favorite is color.
Red.
Red. Okay. So with balloon reds, what's your favorite red? Most of them are very similar, but now there's starting to be a few additional options.
I'd have to go with like the reflex or the chromes, and I like that
Okay.
real shiny. Yeah.
Okay. Favorite food or
Ooh,
food type.
I'm a steak and potatoes kind of like meat hearty girl.
Okay. Right on. If you could live in one time period, past, present, or future, what would it be?
Past.
Oh, like what now be more specific.
I always wanted to go back and learn more about my ancestors. So, like my grandparents or great grandparents, I'd like to know how they lived and how they grew up.
Do you know anything about them now, like where they were from and stuff?
Very little. And I think that's why I have so much interest. I know locally for the last couple generations, but then overseas after that. So I would like to know what their lives were like.
So I used to hate history. Like I just thought it's so boring, lame, and whatever. But there's just so many things now, like as a Christian and I kind of like I want my kids to know like you almost didn't exist. You don't know how many times you shouldn't be here because I wouldn't be here or because life could have taken this turn that would have I would have been somewhere else and you wouldn't exist. Like to think about like those things kind of makes it cool again. And it makes me think
Yeah,
like, how did the direction of individuals' lives connect with someone else that spawns a family that moves and all these things put together? Like, I don't know, just the connections that people have to make in order to exist
right.
and in order to meet others and have families. I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
So it's interesting. I'm not one that's going to go digging up on ancestry.com or whatever, but it's more interesting to me now than it used to be. Um, Favorite movie or movie type?
probably rom-coms. My favorite all time was always oh gosh, I've got a couple. Probably Pretty Woman if I had to pick one.
Oh, okay. Right on. Do you have a favorite book?
Mystery or funny? I just read one that was really good. It was The Wedding People. Check that one out. It's funny. It's one
The
of those laugh
Wedding
out
People.
loud. Yeah.
A book. I don't know that I've ever read a comedy book.
Yeah. Well, it's a little bit of a comedy. You'll laugh out loud. It's about suicide, which is ironic, but it's
Oh,
very funny.
okay. There you go. That is not what I would expect that book to be about based on the title.
It's funny.
Okay. Favorite type of balloon. And what I mean by that is, do you like the reflex, the neon, the
I'm
jewel
not a
tones,
fan of the
crystal
neon or
tones,
the
whatever?
jewels. Um, yeah, probably the reflex, the shiny.
Okay. You don't like the neons?
No, I don't. I'm not a fan.
And let me make this more specific. I hesitate to ask you this, but you don't like the Sempertex neon balloons? Like they're the only
They're
ones. When I think
vibrant,
of
but I'm just not
this,
a fan of neon in general.
okay. So in the 80s, this is not part of my questions. Were your bangs bigger? Do
They
you
didn't
have
even
bangs
they
now?
didn't even fit inside the frame when I had my picture taken. Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Don't
wow.
date me. Shame
I'm
on
not,
you.
no, we're the same. I mean, I'm probably older than you, but that means you existed in the 80s a little bit.
Oh,
That
yeah, yeah.
the hairstyles through the ages are just, it's almost like they're all bad. And then I'm like, I wonder if our hairstyles now are bad. In like 10 or 15 years, their kids are gonna be like,
Right.
what were they doing combing their hair or whatever? Okay,
Yeah.
weirdest job you've ever had. That could be like the weirdest thing. What's the weirdest thing you've ever done for money?
Now you were getting really dark.
Yeah.
Um, in junior high school, a friend of mine told me to get up in the morning, be ready to go for 4 a.m. And I was going to get picked up. And so I didn't even tell my mom. I just got it ready and I went out on the front porch, which you couldn't do these days. But she picked me up and she took me to a farm and we detasseled corn. And it was
Oh,
awful, but I made really, really good money. And I said, oh, so I ended up doing that all summer. That was kind of weird.
oh, well,
But
okay.
like I said, I was like 13, 14 years old, making back then was good money, like $18 an hour. So
That's crazy good money.
yeah.
I thought I made good money by making like $8 an hour in high school. Okay. Because for us, minimum wage was like low
Yeah.
$4, four
Yeah. It was
dollars
like
and some change.
420 or something. Yeah. And
Yeah,
I was making like 18.
that is good.
Yeah.
Um, okay, if you could meet one person that ever existed, who would that person be?
Thomas Jefferson,
Really?
hands down.
What is that
He
inspired
he was an inventor, he was a philosopher, he was a politician, he was very much into humanities. He was just a very interesting person.
from? Okay. If you could spend one day anywhere,
With anyone or anywhere? Big
I would say
difference.
you can be anywhere and you can take anyone you want with you. Well, let's
Well,
just say within your family. I'm gonna say that. Not like I don't
okay.
care. The
So
answer could
I
be
couldn't like pick up Dory and we could go somewhere.
yeah,
All
you could.
right.
I
All
don't really
right.
care. I don't need to be specific on that question. I'm
I
just curious.
it would be water related. So Greece is my main destination I've always wanted to go to. That's my bucket list, but it would be definitely in the water. I'd be scuba diving or jet skiing or doing something in the water.
So you haven't been to Greece before?
No, I haven't. I would love to go.
So in the Navy, I was in the Navy for a short time on an aircraft carrier, and Greece was the most memorable place that I went. And it was the port, so it was Rhodes. And in Rhodes, there was basically like these old castle walls that encompassed what became like a market, like this whole market scene.
Yeah.
And I'm obviously an American Navy person with a couple other dudes walking around through the market. And we get to this one square, and this guy looks at us and holds up what I think is like a fishbowl, but it's huge. He's like, "Hey, want beer?" And then this other guy across the way holds up this other massively tall cylinder. He's like, we have beer too. And they started arguing over who was going to serve us alcohol. Um, and I mean, I don't know how that much beer fits inside a skinny little boy's body, but it did.
I mean, you just gave me another reason to really want to go.
But it was a really cool place. I thought it was. And I mean, I'm sure it's super touristy, but it's not American touristy. It's like Greece touristy, you know? So I thought it was fun. So I would advise going if you can. Um, it's probably one of my most positive memories, not just the beer, but just one of my most positive memories of being in the Navy on an aircraft carrier. Um, okay, so if you could shadow any job for a day, and it could be anybody,
Probably,
it could also be anybody because that would include their job.
it would probably be like a zookeeper or animal trainer or something like that.
Okay, fun times. Just because you're curious what they do, or you just
Well,
would
I
want
just
to
love
be with the
animals. I
animals?
think that'd be
Yeah.
fun. Yeah.
All right. Remember that. There's a question that's going to come back to that idea.
Okay.
Um, what was your favorite toy growing up?
Mm. I was a real tomboy, so I always played with like charts and guns, and we had tools, and I was always digging in the dirt. So it'd have to be something
Just
boy, I
randomly
guess.
playing outside with the
Yeah.
neighborhood kids?
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Right on.
yeah.
Did you get like play hide and seek and the limits
All the
were like
things.
streets, right? The limits
Yeah,
where you
like
can't go past
blocks.
this street or that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
those
yeah.
days are gone. They're so
Yeah.
gone. Um, so what did you want to be when you grow up? I mean, we kind of talked about
We
that a little bit.
did. We did. We hit my three, my nurse, my gymnast, and my artist. So yeah.
Did you ever do gym classes as a kid? Did that be a part of your diving stuff?
Yeah, I did gymnastics too.
Okay. What was your favorite gymnastics
My
routine? Is that what it's
event,
called? Yeah, event.
probably uneven bars. I like to swing all around.
Yeah, so you could go from one bar to the next and roly poly all over those things.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't know any of that stuff about you. It's so interesting. Do you have a favorite podcast? Do you listen to them?
I do. I don't know that I have a favorite. A lot of them are either business or finance. That's what I like to listen to.
Do you listen to The Game by Alex Hormozy by any
I haven't
chance?
heard of that one.
This dude he's next level with good information for business.
The
It's
game.
called The Game by Alex Hormozy.
Now I'm
Um,
writing it down.
yeah, that's a good one. Favorite music genre?
Oh, I'm an 80s hair band girl.
Okay.
Yeah,
Like you said
anything
hair
but
band, so you're
country.
talking like metal, like
Yeah,
Motley Crue and stuff?
yeah, some of that. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Do you have a bucket list item?
Well, I have to get to Greece. That's number one. And then I still want a bungee jump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have a place you want to bungee jump?
I've heard that New Zealand is the adventure capital of the world, so I'm down to go there.
Really? You
Yeah.
think they have like really cool zip line? So when we plan vacations, my wife and I, we look for escape rooms and zip lines. We just love, like we've been, I think it was Louisville it's called Zip the Canyons or not canyons. Sorry, that's in Florida. It's Zip the Caverns or something. And it's all underground zip lines through
Um,
old salt mines. That's
I'm
pretty
down.
cool.
I'm
Yeah,
down.
that's a pretty cool
There's a really
place.
long one in West Virginia that goes over, and I did that one. That was probably the coolest one I did.
Right on. Okay. If what would your spirit animal be? Or to put this into another reference for you, if you said expecto patronum and you had a wand, what animal would shoot out of it to protect you?
I would probably be some kind of bird, maybe an eagle.
Okay.
Yeah, because I like the flights, I like
Yeah, I could
heights,
see
I
that.
like to soar. Yeah.
If you could go back in time, give yourself one piece of advice, what would that be?
Invest earlier.
Okay. If all right, there's three more questions. If you could rule the world and make one thing happen, and it would happen, as in this is a magical you had one wish that was definitely going to come true and you could rule the world and make it happen, what would that be?
Would it be a never-ending superpower or a one-time shot?
This is more about like world change. What's one thing you could change about the world?
You know, you hate to say world peace, but wouldn't that be nice? You
Hmm.
know,
What
can't we
what
all
would
just
you
get along?
Yeah, so what do you think would be one thing that could happen that would push the world in that direction?
I wish I knew. I don't know.
So, Brianna Silvio, she had a really good one, and it is to make everybody do one nice thing for somebody else every day,
I love that so much.
right? It's not
That's
just to pay it
perfect.
forward, but everybody's goal is to just be nice
One
to at least one person
one
every
random
day.
act of kindness every day.
Yeah,
I mean, I
I
try
thought
to
that
do
was
that
really good.
now, but you wish everybody would.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
love it.
If you could know the day that you're going to die, would you want to know it? And why or why
Absolutely
not?
not.
Why not?
Oh, no. That would be terrible. You
Okay.
you'd just be counting down the days. Like I've got 7 days left. I just want to live
Yeah, but
every
if,
day at its fullest.
okay. But for some people, um, and try to remind myself, like, you don't know how many days you have left. So don't just let them go. Like, I could take a nap or turn my brain off, and a week passes before it turns back on. And I'm like, I don't know what just happened this whole week. Did I do anything of importance? Like, am I living or am I just going through the motions? Like, so, but for
Yeah.
different people, that answer means different things. That's why I ask it. Um, okay, last question. If you were a Care Bear, what would be on your tummy?
A taco.
I need to record these answers because I think that's the number one answer overall. Like by far percentage wise, I think that's okay. If anybody, thank you for humoring me with some weird questions. It's one of my favorite parts of this because I think they're fun. If anybody has any questions for Ginny Nikas, let like put them in the chat. And then what I'm gonna do is I will call on you to unmute yourself, and you need to start with saying one thing you're grateful for. Like introduce yourself, one thing you're grateful for, and then you can ask Miss Jenny her question. What do you want to go by? Jen, Jenny, Jennifer,
Never Jenny. Jen.
Jen. Then you can ask Miss Jen the question
Yeah.
if anybody has any. And if not, that's okay. We will stop the recording and go about our day. But while they're thinking, thank you so much
Of
for
course.
being here with all the weird stuff. Mr. Fudge has a question. So if you'll unmute yourself, what are you grateful for? And ask away.
So I am super grateful that you are on this call because I appreciate you so very much and you've helped me a lot of times. But I want to know, how in the world did you become so awesome? Like that's a
Oh,
big question.
it took a lot of work.
Yeah.
Stop it.
So yeah, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. And I missed the beginning of this, so I'll get to watch it on the replay. But thank you so much for being here, and I'm glad that I got to jump in for some of it too.
All right, Miss Patty, you're up.
Okay, I'm grateful for all of my balloon friends who always help me out. So thank you to everybody, and thank you, Jonathan and Jonathan, for this platform. It's amazing. My question for you, Jen, is I hired a high school student to help me. Not going great. Um, the training is really slow. Do you have any tips for training a new employee?
Do you have any SOPs or anything written down? I find that if they have questions and they can go to what I call my Bible, if they can just look and answer their own question, then that takes a little more pressure off me and that gives them a little more sense of responsibility and ownership of it. I find the hardest thing I have with high school kids is they don't want to put their phones down. It drives me crazy.
Yeah. I think we're not even at that point yet. We're like, this is an inflator, and this is how you use an inflator, and
Which is where you have to start.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
But
maybe I'm just being a little impatient. It's slow, but okay. But I like the SOP. I'll make sure I start that. Thank you.
yeah, and I think Jonathan, correct me if I'm wrong, isn't the guild working on a lot of that as well?
Yes, I was gonna follow up the conversation with, we have, I have a note to do this. I will go and share my screen and we will look at, right now what I have is a training list. And it's a list where you can check off and put a date beside what date somebody has been approved for the information, so that from that point on, you know you have passed the test for using our inflator. If you ever fail using the inflator, it's because you're not doing what you've already proven to me you know how to do, and that's a problem. You've already passed the test that you know how to build a column. What we are going to work on in the future is adding specific trainings for every item on the list. And it's a really long, it's going to be a long situation, but at the end of the day, the Balloon Guild would love to train your employees for you. You just have to put them in front of the right videos and let them watch it. And then you will have to basically check them off yourself on, you have adequately proven that you know how to do this thing to your standards. But we're gonna, it's just, there's a lot that's gonna have to happen to make that possible. But I will show you at least the training checklist so you can see it. And if you want to print it out, and then I'll explain to you how I'd use it too. That's a good one. Minis, events, did you have a question or were you just wanting to say hello? If you have a question, then you can unmute yourself and ask it.
I was just saying hi to everyone.
All right. Well, hello back to you too. What is your screen name? Is it Min YSA events or minis? I'm just really curious now.
It's Manaja.
That I was so far off, and I am sorry.
Everybody is. It's Manaja.
Okay,
Like it's
well, it's
the
nice to meet you.
same.
Okay, if anybody has any questions, there's still gonna be, like, I'm not gonna shut them down, but I am gonna go ahead for the sake of time and do the screen share so I can show you guys two things. One, I want to show you some stuff that Ginny Nikes that we're going to be putting out on her behalf this month. And then the second thing is that training checklist. Okay, these are the things that we have coming. She has a hammer, which I think is cool. Bob the Builder time. So there's a few she's from Indiana, right? So farm stuff. Yeah. A little tiny pig, which is cute. A little sheep, a little chicken. So I think all those are cute. I think you could very easily, you see that she has like a Linkaloon barn situation behind these. I think those things are really cute and you could put them all together for an event. There's this ring photo op that I like, which I think is really amazing. She has a Minnie Mouse and a Mickey Mouse. We did just put out a Minnie Mouse, I think it was last month. So if we get to this, it's going to be the last of her stuff that we do this month. But I do want to get this Mickey Mouse arch published because we don't have one, and I think it would be good for everybody. And then this bow, which is pretty unique compared to the other bows that I've seen. So these are the items from her that we have, and we're going to make them fit into our format and everything else. So that's kind of exciting. And then, oh, I'm making 4 of these flamingos in the next couple weeks. So I really love it when I get to use the Balloon Guild stuff because I use it for myself all the time. All right, so the training. I believe you should just be able to type in training. Training checklist. There is a video that I've created on how you can use this. This will take you to a YouTube link, which will show you the video if you wanted to watch it. I don't think it's very long. Oh, you know what I'll do? I'll take you to the actual Canva template because this is what you're going to want to do. You may want to use this for yourself. So use template for a new design. And what you may want to do is add your own stuff in here. So I have like an onboarding checklist. When have they reviewed your service manual? If you have one, if you don't, I don't know if we have a service manual in our thing. I'll have to see if we do. But I'm gonna put I'm writing a note down to check because I have a service manual that we can put in there as like you can take bits and pieces from this to use for your own. Um, when did you get a copy of their driver's license, W4, W9? Like when have you done these items? And the idea is that you're putting their name, so you would replace their name up here, right? So their name goes up here, their title, crew member, right? Like whatever you want to put up there is what I would do. And then these boxes are dates when you have either acquired the information you need. In starting pay, you could put their money in there, like however much, just so you have a record of it when you've taught them to clock in and out or whatever system you use. Again, if you don't have this, you can just delete it. It doesn't matter, right? You can change these items however you want. When it comes to safety and equipment, like you can add whatever you want. You could put your specific inflating machines in there, but I just have one generic one. And here's where I got this idea from. I was in the Navy nuclear power program, and you go through a lot of schooling, and then you go to more schooling. And then after that, you do more schooling. And the third place you go to school is a place where you learn a system and you have to study the book knowledge of it. And then you go before an instructor, and that instructor will test you on it. And they will ask you all kind of questions and give you scenarios of what are you going to do if this thing happens? And then you have to pass that test, and then they check you off, and then you start working on the next thing. So my goal at the end of the day is to have a video for how to use helium tanks, how to store helium tanks safely, how to load helium tanks, how to like all the things I can do for that everybody might need some information for, and also create like a little exam that you can pull out and you can ask them all the questions off it. And if they answer all those questions to your satisfaction, you can put the date of when they've done that. I have like shop systems, job systems. So for me, the difference is these are all things that we do in the shop, like balloon colors. I don't know if you guys work with people, but it is so annoying when you go into your box of navy balloons or your box of black balloons and find that somebody put a bag of navy ones in there because they're all dark and they're just not paying attention. Like it's maddening when people put stuff in the wrong place. So I want to test them on, do you know the different sizes, the different colors? And for me, that's going to be a visual test. I'm going to throw a bunch of balloons on a table, different sizes, different colors, and I want you to tell me what they are. So they actually have to figure that stuff out and pay attention. On the job stuff, like these are all different items that for me is stuff I need for my employees. Classic decor, some framing questions, organic decor, helium questions, backdrops, ceiling decor, foil decor, rentals. You can see this is just a copy of that previous page. There's a lot on here, and there's probably a lot that each of you can add to your own business because everybody's business is unique. But that's how I would use this. So I would know if I ask, the first thing I teach a brand new person is how to build a spiral arch. Or sorry, spiral column. If you can build a spiral column, then the next thing is you can build an arch. But I want them to know all the framing parts to a column, to an arch, so that they understand it and can do it without me after that point. Hopefully this will be something that helps you. And I will also tell you that working with a brand new employee always will take you more time than it saves you at the very beginning. It's going to take you 3 times as long to teach them how to build a spiral column than it will be for you to build it yourself. However, once they're taught how to do it, now you never have to do it yourself again when they're around. So it's kind of an investment of your time now to save it later. So hopefully that'll help. I think it's a pretty cool tool that probably is very underused by most people who are working with others. If there are no more questions, which I don't see any in here, we are going to stop the recording and then everybody can get on with their day. Jen, thank you so very much. I'm excited to now have so many things to talk to you about you are like Miss Action Girl, and I had no idea.
No one
So
does.
yeah, that is a takeaway. Don't judge a book by its cover until you open the book and start reading some pages. You might have a book called The Wedding People thinking it's a rom-com, and then it turns out to be about suicide. You just don't know.
It's really, it's not. You just read it.
Okay.
Funny.
Well, thank you for your time, and I'm excited to get your designs on, and thank you for being a guest designer for us. And we're happy to be a part of what you're doing and happy that you're a part of what we're doing. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.